Tonight, we're learning more about what's being done to stop cars from crashing into a Norfolk business.
We told you yesterday on 13 News Now, the city is now working to stop the recurring problem at M&G Sales.
Tonight, we're hearing from the business owner about the fix. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton has the story.
In the past 35 years, owner Larry Friedman says at least a dozen cars have come through his store. Take a look. This actually happened a few months back. It's still here because the car actually caused structural damage. Friedman hopes the new city plan helps.
Every time there's been an accident, we brick it up.
And he says it feels like it's never ending.
History repeating itself, basically. I mean, you need to learn from history. That's what history teaches us. So we need to alter that a little bit.
Friedman says last week, Mayor Kenny Alexander walked into his store at 27th and Granby. M&G Sales.
He took the initiative. He had seen what's going on, seen the feedback and the concerned citizens in Norfolk and their responses to reports of what has been happening repeatedly.
Since the unexpected visit, Friedman's dream to keep cars from crashing into his store is coming true.
By Monday morning, he had all the top city officials out here making a plan, and things have moved at a really rapid rate since then, and I couldn't be more pleased.
The city installed temporary barriers. In the next week or so, the barriers will be replaced with a concrete planter. Friedman hopes it works.
I can't say thank you enough, and it just means a lot to me and my people.
In Norfolk, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
New information tonight in a crash that killed a pedestrian in Norfolk. Police have charged the driver with DUI. We're told James Thompson hit Jonathan Justice while Justice was crossing North Military Highway late last night. Thompson is also accused of driving with a suspended license, but we're told more charges could be coming.
New at 6, a suspect in a 14-year-old murder is off the hook for now. The second-degree murder charge against Tavion Tynes has been nol pros. That means prosecutors aren't moving forward with the case now, but they can charge him again in the future. Tynes was arrested last year for the 2004 murder of his father, Johnny Tynes, in Olivoit County. It was the second time Tynes had been arrested for the crime. In the first time, in 2005, all charges were dropped.
Right now, a motorcyclist in Newport News is recovering after crashing into a car this morning. It happened on Enterprise Drive and Warwick Boulevard. Police are looking into the circumstances surrounding this crash. The motorcyclist's injuries are described as minor. That is just the latest of several motorcycle crashes we've been telling you about this month. 4 people have died in these crashes in Virginia Beach, and 1 in Hampton has died as well. 13 News Now reporter Adriana de Alba looked into whether this is unusual. And Adriana, what did you find out?
Regina, a large portion of motorcycle deaths take place during June and July, and in most cases, the leading causes are speed and alcohol.
It happens in the blink of an eye. This year is shaping up to be deadlier than last.
What we're finding for 2018 is the statistics for motorcycle fatalities for this year are either matching or appear to be higher than they have been in previous years.
The Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles says that so far this year, more than 40 people have died in motorcycle accidents, about 30% of them taking place during June and July.
Summertime is the most dangerous time of year, and that's simply because obviously more people are out on motorcycles during the summer when the weather's nice, so that we see an increased use of motorcycles by motorists, and that would tend to put them at more risk.
Last year, more than 100 people died in motorcycle accidents. That's the highest number the state has had in a decade. And while the city of Virginia Beach has had fewer motorcycle accidents in 2018 than last year, they've had a string of fatalities this month alone. In hopes of preventing more motorcycle deaths, AAA is urging drivers of both cars and motorcycles to be extra cautious. Avoid speeding, use your turn signals, and never drive while under the influence. AAA adds that engaging in road rage could turn deadly.
It's important for them not to take it personally. Most of the time, people don't even know you're there. So by not taking it personally, it keeps you from being upset and trying to retaliate.
And the Virginia DMV provides a list of rider training programs all across the state. Just head to 13newsnow.com and look under links in the news to find a location near you. Adriana de Alba, 13 News Now.
Another raccoon tests positive for rabies in Norfolk, and now the city wants to find the woman who found the animal. We're told the woman gave the raccoon to the staff at Evelyn's Wildlife Refuge last week. City wants to talk to her to make sure she wasn't exposed to rabies. We're told she lives in Norfolk and drives a green Kia Soul. If that's you or you know who that woman is, have her call the Norfolk Health Department right away.
Developing now in Isle of Wight County, crews may build a juvenile correctional center at the Shirley T. Holland Intermodal Park. That's just outside Windsor. 13 News Now reporter Nico Clemens spoke to leaders about the plan that is drawing mixed reactions.
Tonight, there's several unanswered questions surrounding a proposed juvenile detention center in Isle of Wight County. Questions from the public.
It's not needed. There's no point.
And leaders in the town of Windsor.
We believe it's going to have a positive impact on the county.
The Department of Juvenile Justice is proposing the center. Assistant County Administrator Don Robertson says they started talking with the state last December, trying to figure out what the state was searching for. Robertson says during that time, they reached out to the mayor of Windsor and other town leaders to make sure they were aware of the project.
Quite honestly, we've tried to keep everybody informed throughout.
However, some Windsor Council members say county leaders are keeping them in the dark. I spoke with Councilman Walter Bernanke over the phone, who says there's been very little to no transparency on the county's end.
They've certainly expressed some concerns. We've tried to keep them informed even throughout the process.
In June, the project is adopted in the state's budget. Robertson says within the last few weeks, they've reached out to Windsor officials to get them caught up on the project. But it was in April when Windsor's mayor, Carita Richardson, signed this letter to Delegate Emily Brewer on behalf of Windsor supporting the facility.
Kids don't even have the bicycles around here.
Patricia Sharon has lived in Windsor her whole life. She lives across the street from the park.
Build something that's going to make something a difference in the community instead of building something that's going to try to bring the community down.
Now, tomorrow, officials from Isle of Wight, Windsor, the Department of Juvenile Justice, and the Department of General Services are meeting to discuss this project a little bit more and get everyone caught up to speed. That meeting starts at 10 in the morning at the Windsor Rueton building, and it is open to the public. In Isle of Wight County, I'm Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.